friends, it's Nancy. Welcome back to part 3 of our sewing theme journal. So this is dry now, and I'm just going to cut around to square up the fabric. All right, there's that. Oh, I missed just a thread, just a tiny thread. All right, there's that. Now, this pocket is going to be a little wide, I think. So I'm going to trim. Oh, let's take an inch off. And yeah, that's looking better. And I want to make a little thumb hole. So I'm using my big giant circle punch here. Okay. And now I want to stitch around this. And then once that's stitched around, then I'll stitch around the perimeter. Okay. All right. I'm going to put you on hold because I don't want to make you watch me. So, all right. So I did a straight stitch around the thumb hole of that pocket and then flipped it over and zigzagged all the way across or around the perimeter. Now, where there's fabric, there's no paper eruptions, but here, because I sewed from the other side, there's some little paper eruptions that I want to push back down flat just to give it a nicer finish on the pocket. And while I had the sewing machine going, I trimmed this image and zigzagged all the way around that as well. So before we get much further with this one, I want to seal it, and this time I'm just going to use regular Mod Podge matte Mod Podge. Just so we have a nice seal, and that will, you know, stick down this edge of the envelope here, hopefully, so that it doesn't come peeling up and causing any issues. I will be doing some more work to the surface, surface of the cover, but this will give us a nice base to work with. And the idea is just to protect the old paper. If this becomes really bent or wrinkled, I will put it in my book press overnight. And that will be very helpful to remedying that problem. If you want swirls and curls in your matte medium here, your sealant, your matte sealant, you can do a few brush swirls if you like that. Getting a little low on Mod Podge. Good news is we're almost done the covers and we can start on the pages. I'm just gonna go along this edge to sort of seal the threads so that they don't unravel. They shouldn't unravel. Well, they shouldn't unravel very much because they are all stitched practically to the edge. But if I have to cut them off, I'll cut them off. Okay, I'll set that aside, trusting that I got all of the surface. This one I'll also seal. I'm just trying to get a smooth effect. I'm not spending too much time. Okay, so while I let these dry, I will go get the other cover and we'll do the mitering and turning over to the other side. All right, hang on. Okay. So I can trim some of the fabric away. I've got kind of a big hunk. And this end, and I want to reduce the bulk on the corners. So I want to leave enough to cover it, but take some of the heaviness out. Whoops, sorry. Now we can go about this a few ways. we can use glue stick, use Fabri-Tac. I think I'm going to stick with the Mod Podge, the fabric mat Mod Podge that I was using before. There's a happy cardinal out there singing away. Okay. So I'm just gonna pull up this corner. There we go. I think I'll turn all the way around. We'll do the other short side. And then there we go. Looks good, looks good. I haven't decided what I'm going to do for inside cover on this yet. All right, looking good, looking good. That edge is looking great. Okay, whoop, one more to go. perfect. I'm just sort of sculpting this spine back. Into shape. Okay, now we'll let that dry. And when it's dry, my plan is I'm going to stitch right through the book around the perimeter. So I'll move that. I have to make a spine to sew the signatures to. Where did I put my template? I had a template. So I believe for my project, the spine is going to be 8 7/8 long by 3/4 wide. Whoop. So I'm just going to cut a piece of 5/8 7/8. I can cut this end off. Just making sure that stands up. I will cut 2 pieces, three-quarters of an inch wide. Which I will glue together and put on my giant pencil. To make my curved spine. And I need to make my template to... Oh, you're a pen, you're not a pencil. Where have my pencils gone? Oh, that's not gonna work. Oh well, we're gonna use a pen for now. So I want to put on 3 signatures. So I'm gonna draw one line that is 1/8 from the edge. Three-eighths from an edge. And 5/8 from the edge. And then the final piece will be that 3/4 inch cut. So I'm just going to do a dash line so you know where I'm cutting. So you'll see these are the lines for the 3 signatures. These are a distance of 1/4 inch, but from the outside signature to the edge is just 1/8 of an inch. Okay. I'm also going to make lines to show where the holes will be popped in. So I'm going to do an inch from the top, inch from the bottom, and so the distance is 6 and 7/8. So 6 and 7/8 divided by 5 is 1. And 1 and 7/8, it goes 3/8. Yeah, so that's 15. So 5 goes into 15 3/8. All right. So I will do a line at 2 and 3/8 and a line at 3 and 6/8 or 3 and 3/4. So that was 3 and 3/4. This was 2 and 3/8. This was 1. So we'll do the same thing from here. Two and 3/8. 3 and 3/4. Okay. So now I'm going to cut off the spine template and glue it to some fabric. This is going to be our template for poking the holes in the signatures. So I'm just scoring that. And then when I'm poking my holes into, I will use this as a template in the signatures, and then poke the holes in. Like so. Okay. Piece of fabric. You gonna be long enough? Oh yeah, you're plenty long. What is that? Whoops. So I need my Fabri-Tac. So I'm putting glue on the side that does not have any marks on it. And yes, I have put it upside down before. Come on, glue. Slow as molasses. Okay. Let that dry. Now, I don't want to. I don't want to forget to make my curved spine. My pencil might be too short. And my pencil will be okay. So I just want to glue these two pieces of card together, and then I will curve it on the pencil, the giant pencil. While the glue is still wet, so that it will bend easy. I reckon this is about 1 inch in diameter. If you're looking for a dowel to use instead of a giant pencil. And then I will wrap pantyhose. Around and around and around. The reason I have the pencil wrapped in saran wrap is because the acetone in the Fabri-Tac melted the shellac or the lacquer or whatever the shiny part is on the pencil, and everything stuck to it. So, oh, nuts. I have the worst luck. Okay, so I will leave this overnight. This will be drying. This is continuing to dry. The sewing pattern covers themselves are drying. I want this to dry more like that. So it has a nice curved spine. I'm sure it's going to be great. Okay, thanks so much for joining me for part 3. We'll be back again soon with the next steps.